Okay, today, ladies and gentlemen, we look at how to measure angles. How to measure angles. And measuring angles with protractors can be a little confusing because if you look at your protractor, and some of you have better protractors than others, it'll make life a lot easier. For every place you see there's two sets of numbers. So you have to figure out which one of those is the right one. If you listen, it should not be that terribly difficult. But the first thing you need to do on this is, because your protractors are much bigger than the angles, okay, the first thing, I suppose I should write this down somewhere. Where are we going to put those notes? Let's put it right here. Step number one. Just put it right here. Make sure you use those notes. And this won't always be, but for these, you're going to have to extend the lines so they go through your protractor. Sometimes I've seen people with these little protractors, which probably that would not would work, but and what happens on this, and what I mean by this is this. Eventually, when we get to our rules, I'm going to ask you to put the vertex of the angle on the angle, and you will see the problem with my angle is that in order to measure it, one ray has to be at least as long as the protractor is wide. So the first thing you need to do is with a straight edge, mind you, because I see people trying to do this all the time freehand. You cannot freehand this. You need to take your lines. There's my line. And you need to, what I said, extend that line. That means this. Put your protractor on the line, a straight edge, and you need to draw it so that it is longer. Okay, you have to follow that same line and make it perfectly straight. And you really should do that for both of them, although you don't have to. One of them would work, but both would be good. So your first step for angle number one is to take your protractor, not freehand, people. You don't do anything freehand. Take it and extend your lines so that you're making them longer. Don't do it freehand. Yeah, that's plenty long. It only needs to be as long as your protractor is wide. So that would be good there. Nice and straight. You don't have to do it. You don't have to make it your whole protractor because it'll get a little crazy. You just need to be. That'll be good. Everybody got their line nice and long there? Yes, you didn't follow the same line though, Frankie. Can't you tell how this goes and then it veers off like this? So it would probably be easier if you did not have it in your three holes. You know that. Look at. You're going to get the wrong answer every time if you use that line. That doesn't follow. It's got to follow the same path as your other one. Everybody got it? Follow the same path, follow the same path, follow the same path. Not free-handed, not free-handed, not free-handed, not free-handed. Does that look like it follows the same line? Does it look like it goes up and more? Right here. Line this up. Most of you are close. Okay, good. So here we go. Step number two. Step number two, ladies. Before you measure the angle, decide if the angle is acute or obtuse. We've talked about that, have we not? You know the difference between acute and obtuse angles? What, Frankie, is the difference between an acute angle and an obtuse angle?
Acute is like not high, like more in than a right angle?
It is more in, what do we call that though? Acute angles have to be less than how many degrees?
90.
Right, a square corner. So, I want you right now to write next to each one of these things what type of an angle. For example, angle number one is acute, correct? That's less than 90 degrees. Angle number two is obtuse. Thank you very much. Angle number three is Thank you. Wow, we are good. Angle number 4 is?
Obtuse.
And you go ahead and fill in the rest of them. I'm not going to write on mine. It shouldn't take you terribly long to do that. And now you ask me, why do we do that?
Why do we do that, Mr.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, listen very carefully to me. If I said that angle number 1 is an acute angle, and when I measure I get 120 degrees, we've got problems, right? Because how can an acute angle be 120 degrees? It can't. You did something wrong. You write down what it is so that you can check your answer to make sure it is correct. Because like I said, there are 2 sets of numbers everywhere, and you need to know which one is the one that you need to use. So we got that? Step number 3. Step number 3 is you need to put the vertex. What is the vertex of my angle? Right here. Place where the 2 rays meet. In the hole of the protractor. Now this gets a little confusing as well because all of your protractors are different. Okay? Some of them have, this is the hole that I'm talking about right there. Some of you just have little notches there. Some of you have other things there, but this, boom, I need to put that right there on the vertex of my angle. Are you with me there? Everybody kind of has a different thing. We're not quite done with that yet. After you put that little thing in the hole of the protractor, you need to then line up one side of the angle with the line on the protractor that goes through that hole. Now you probably look up here, before you go do it on your paper, look up here. Everybody look up here, because this is the part where people get all lost and they go, I can't figure this out. Alright? If I have my protractor on that line right there, where's the rest of it? Where's the rest of my protractor? Oh, great. Okay. I have my choice. I can take, I can spin this all around. See how that line still stays in there? Look at, what if I did it really fast? Is that fun and exciting for you? Yes. Okay. Here's the deal. That vertex has to stay in that hole. I need to line up, see the side of this is going to line up with that line right there that goes through that hole. So for me, it would be like this. Okay? Please understand this. Wait, look up here still. I can still line up this like this. If I line it up like this, it doesn't do me any good because the other part of the angle doesn't go through my protractor. Okay, so you don't want to line it up. You need to line it up so that goes through there. It lines up with a line and the other line goes through your protractor. Okay, got that? So go ahead and you do that. This is the part where we'll make sure you've got it. You've got it right. Yes, 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 yes. You've got one of those tough. See, your line is actually the bottom of that protractor. Oh no, you have this right here. On your notes it said do not get the ones that have the little arms on it. So if you got the one with the little arm on it, you line it up with that and that line right there. And it's better if they're see-through because it's a little hard to do. Yes, 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 yes. No. See that hole, Frankie? That's the hole we're talking about. That hole has to go on the vertex. It has to go right there. And then you line up with that line there. Yes. 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 No. No. That's not that. Yes, yes. All right, I think we're all on the same page. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's where things get dicey. Okay? Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to blow this up here. I'm not going to move my protractor. I just want you to be able to see this. Okay. The number that gives you the measurement for your angle is where that other arm of the angle goes through the protractor. Okay, now be very careful here. First of all, remember, we said this has to be an acute angle. So our number has to be smaller than 90 degrees. That's your only choice. If you look here, and mine's probably off a little bit, my angle here is either, it goes right here, so it's either 100 degrees, because it's 100 right here, but it is also, if you look down here, it goes through the 80 degree mark as well. My two choices are the 100 where it goes through there, or the 80 where it goes through right there. Now only one of them can be the answer because only one of these numbers is an acute angle. Which one is acute? The 80 degree angle. So in your notes, when we get to this part right here, step number whatever we are, what are we on? Number 4, you have to pick the measurement that is correct. I guess is what I say. You can't pick 100 because that's not it. I probably should shrink this down a little bit so you can actually see it. And yours, by the way, yours might be off a little bit from mine because it loses some of the stuff when I put it on my board, and my board's a little goofy. You might come up with, I don't know, 87, 88. We should probably do that. Let's look at angle number 2. It takes a little getting used to here. What's the first thing we're supposed to do? Label it as acute or obtuse. What is it? Obtuse. Second thing is, again, the lines are too small, so I need to extend those lines. So you're going to have to draw this, make it longer this way. Draw this, make it longer this way. And make sure you get the right out there. So do that right now. Let's try measuring the second angle because we have to talk a little bit more about this. It gets a lot faster when you do it on your own. You have a question, Frankie? You have a measurement?
Question. On number 1, I got 90.
What's that?
He said we all have different.
You can't have a 90. No possible way 90. If it was a 90, it would be a square corner, and that is not a square corner. There you go. You have to put this in there, and then line this up with that line right here. So you got this. And then that lines up with this line. Okay, yours is a little different because it's going to have to so keep it in perspective. Right there, it's close to 80. It's actually 82 on here, but like I said, my goal is to go off. Maybe you're off a little on this. Yeah, I see it's off just a little bit. But that's fine. If you got 82, I would give it to you, but it's not, certainly not 90. And mine, like I said, so here is what number 2 would look like. By the way, children, take a look, see here. Let's go. You do have your choice. You could line this one up. You could line this up with this side of your protractor, or it also could work like this as well. Either way, you'll get the same measurement, and it doesn't matter which. So let's do this. We line it up here. I'll do it like this. Is that the way most of you did it?
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't matter. Mine's a little off. I can only do so much with my protractor. So here, making sure that that other line goes through there, here's what I need you to see. It goes through right here. Everybody look up here. The other thing you have to be careful with your protractors when you write down your measurements. Alright, you're looking at Mr. Protractor here. I got this top one right here. How many degrees is that right there? If that line crosses there, how many degrees is that?
135.
No, this one, the top one.
50.
Okay, everybody look up here.
Before
Look up here. Look up here. Look up here. Here's where a lot of people go wrong. Somebody said this is 52. It is not 52 because if you look at that line is between 40 and 50. 52 is right here. This is where 52 is. That right there is 48 degrees. Which, by the way, can't be our answer because we said that's an obtuse angle and 48 degrees is an acute angle. So we have to look at this one. Alright, this one here, it's between 130 and 140. This is the 130 mark. This is 131, 132. 132 degrees is your answer. You could be, mine could be off by 2 or 3 degrees. So if you got like 130 or 135, whatever, that's fine because like I said, my boards and my lines, I can only get so accurate with it. But make sure when you're looking at your protractor, you're looking, it's between the right group of tens. Alright, let's try one on your own. Give me angle number 3. See if we get the right answer for number 3. Number 3. Where did number 3 go? Is it up here in all this gobbledygook? Is this number 3 right here? Yikes, that's gonna get ugly. What did you get for number 3? And please tell me you did not get something bigger than 90 degrees because that certainly is an acute angle. Uh-oh. What did we get for number 3? Mine's going to be way off, I think. What did we get for number 3? Oh, look, it's at the same line as that other one. So mine's going to be a little off here. Yikes. What do we get for 3? Add D.
64 degrees.
Now, Addie, if mine is close enough, look at this falls between actually 50 and 60. Not 64 degrees would be between 60 and 70 and come through here. So it should be,
56.
I would get 56. Oh, and that's what, is anybody else on the, well, actually, it looks like it's 54 on mine. But if you are plus or minus a couple things, that's fine. Because here's 50. This is 130 and 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. Does that sound like a winner? How many people got that? Again, you can't get 120 something because that's not too saying. Measure number 4. Number 4. Actually, go ahead and measure all of them. Let's just get her done. We don't have that much time left. Measure number 4. And again, you got to extend those lines. There's no way to measure it and get the angles without extending those lines. Not sure I actually have answers for this. And from now on, make sure you bring your protractors because they'll be on quizzes and other things that will need them. So it's a good idea to keep them with your math stuff.